Beyonce too. Lemonade was a brilliant album. It's a travesty it didn't win Record of the Year in 2017, but
yeah. You ought to bring up at some point. Are we starting? Okay. At some point, I mean, I know you'll edit this out, but at some point I want to talk about how we were talking about Ian and how hard it is to record music from the start.
Here, I'm gonna get some obscenities out of the way real quick. Okay.
Whoa. You definitely can't say this.
Tested.
Hey, check 1 2. Check 1 2.
All right, so starting out officially, today we got with us Deacon Marlin, big music guy, smart guy going into the electrical engineering field, right?
Oh yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, and so interesting person, definitely gonna get some good knowledge on music and some of the
eating these right now,
and some of the stuff that he's done to come up. So
you even answer the question.
I don't care.
When you edit this, can you like boost the sound of Damon chewing?
Oh yeah.
I'd love to just
actually let's not eat right now.
When I go back and stare at myself,
you got to really
on
have
the
it
screen.
in
I just want to
too.
hear him chewing.
Turn it a little bit because it picks up at the end.
At the very top.
Yeah,
there.
it's cardioid. It's gonna shoot out this way. Or
fix the pop filter too. That's gonna bug me.
What?
The pop filter.
Because you see the
it's in my
basic
face.
functionality of a dynamic microphone.
It's like a big black thing in my face.
Big black
Does
foamy.
it give you memories, flashbacks
No,
from a child?
It's just uncomfortable.
Does it remind you of the first time you went to the carnival?
Oh.
The carnival.
You were all alone in the fun house, and then you weren't. Tall
He's telling
man.
personal stories.
I'm just projecting.
We're taking things to a personal.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, that's what this is. We're talking about
That's right.
personal stories, and we got a good one to start out.
And I'm Deacon Marlin.
Okay, so to start out, kind of want to touch a little bit on you're definitely growing in the music world and whatnot with producing and stuff like that. So kind of I want to hear a little bit touching on what all you got going like in the music world, from like making music to producing to working on amps, all that.
Totally. So I mean, I've been playing because I started playing drums when I was 10. I'm sure you remember.
Yeah.
And I taught myself guitar when like in 8th grade, and the whole time it was all about starting bands, right? And I wanted to write music, and I fell in love with Nirvana at a pretty young age, and so I wanted to be Kurt Cobain. And so
though.
Yeah, not until up until 1994.
Yeah.
Like, without the heroin and
All right.
yeah, no. But so I started playing guitar, and that led to starting bands and writing music, and so. But right now I'm actually playing in 2 groups. I'm playing in a band called Truant Kids. They're out of Lawrence. My old friend Owen is the drummer. And they're kind of a cool kind of Lawrence sounding indie kind of rock band. Got a great sound. They have 2 records out, and I'm actually going down in 4 days to start recording their 3rd record with them.
How long are you going down for?
I'm gonna go down for I think 2 or 3 days, and just we're just gonna try a marathon, like track as much as we can, so I don't have to like send them files from my own studio.
Yeah.
So when you're recording like that, how long does it take to like
It
truly
depends.
put out like a final piece or whatnot?
It depends. I mean, it all depends on what kind of thing you're doing, right? So I also do a lot of solo stuff, a lot of just me with an acoustic guitar in front of a mic or whatever. And with that, like I dial in a mix right after I finish recording it. I compress and EQ everything right, and I could have a final product like later that day.
Yeah.
Whereas with something a little more complex, I mean, honestly, it's all about your work ethic. You could knock out. There's a guy on YouTube named Rob Scallon. Every year, him and a buddy record an entire album in a day.
Wow.
10 songs, and they write them all there on the spot. Like you can do that, but
Are they good quality though that they put out, or is it more of like
some of it's good, some of it's kind of jokey. The albums are never longer than like 25 minutes, but it does stand to improve a point. Like you can do that, It just depends, I always try to give myself like. My whole thing with recording and producing and anything like that is like deadlines and limitations. That's what you need.
Yeah.
Like that's why I don't record digitally. I record everything on 1/2-inch analog, like reel-to-reel tape. and that's because like you're limited to 4 or 8 tracks at most. You know, 16 if you have more money. But I'm already I'm working on a college budget and trying to record on a dead medium. So but yeah, like when you really limit yourself, like you have to be a lot more economical and you have to really put a lot more effort into it. And so less is more, I find almost all the time.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
So I hear like obviously I listen to a lot more rap music and whatnot, and so I hear when rappers talk about like making songs and whatnot, it takes them so much time to put an album out and stuff like that. Would you say it's universal in the other worlds, or would you just depend on like the person maybe or the quality or
right? Well, if you're signed to a label, like that's all going to be mostly dependent on them, and it also depends on like how you're walking into an album,
right?
So like if you're going into the studio and like you and the band or you by yourself as a rapper or whatever, like you have rehearsed everything, you have it all like planned out, laid out. You could track an album in a week, But there's a lot of bands who go in and it's like, yeah, we have a couple ideas for songs, and they spend like a month in the studio and they come in with every day with new songs or new parts or, and just tinker and toy around with things. So yeah, I mean, I don't like Metallica, but it is they put out a documentary about this album. I think it took them like 10 years to make it because they were fighting or maybe it was 5 years. It was ridiculous. They were fighting and they couldn't get anything done. They couldn't write. They were all going through personal stuff. And the fact that they released that too is unbelievably brave because they all act like assholes the whole time. So yeah, I mean, it could take a while or it could be a really swift process. I mean, it's like anything else. I mean, Picasso, early on he'd probably spend a week or so on a portrait, right? But then by the end of his career, he could probably do an abstract in an hour and a half, 2 hours. Like, and some of that is style, some of that is like where he was artistically, some of it is like regard for attention to detail versus just like getting it out there.
Right.
So it really depends, but it's not uncommon for it to take like a year to get it out, because then the label has to start marketing it, and usually a label wants to have their own hand in the mix and master of the whole thing, which I'm very against. But but yeah. So yeah, I mean, it can take a while.
Well, I know nowadays it's a lot easier. You see artists out there that are more independent now. Is that something you've ever thought about, is doing just straight independent? Or
that's actually kind of how I do things. I'm not signed to any label. I don't go to recording studios. I do it all in my home.
Got a sick little setup too.
Working on it, man.
I was thinking about putting my fingers in your water.
Don't put the fingers in my water.
I'm not going to, but I thought about it. Sometimes I like to let people know what I'm thinking.
You should do that more often.
Yeah, it's pretty random.
Yeah,
like this.
I don't know. You got to be careful with that.
She had a Gatorade bottle and her lid was just off, and she was leaving it off. And I was like, I will stick my fingers in there and just spin it. They go all over the table.
No, I get that. I got kicked out of a couple Applebee's for doing that to people's drinks.
It's fun. You also try it.
I mean, I also got kicked out because I spit in their drinks and then pissed on them. But
I don't think you do that.
Well, some of that you can do. It depends on where you're at.
Just don't get caught.
Yeah.
I mean, it's technically like freedom of expression, right? I think that does fall under it.
You could really commit any crime you want if you like oil yourself up first so they can't catch you.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, like imagine like 10 police officers trying to catch like a slimy fast motherfucker. Like,
well, the greased up deaf guy in Family Guy.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Why didn't Diddy do this then?
Yeah, he had all that baby oil.
Yeah, that's what I was about to
say. He had the tools. He had the equipment necessary.
Well, he was also like he was dumb enough to get caught in the first place. So
didn't they get him at like a hotel or something?
It seems like I don't know.
I don't know where they got him at.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, you're the expert right here.
I don't know where he got arrested.
Oh my goodness.
That's out of my range. I only know his heinous acts.
I think he was like in New York or something, and he was at a park.
Yeah,
and people called the cops on him. And they just arrested him
at
the...
Diddy red-handed right here. You got the reward?
This Diddy man is over here scheming on another sex party in the park.
Also, why is he just chilling out in the park? Like, while everybody's looking for him?
Why are you looking at me like that? I know we
You're
had
the
fun.
expert.
Maybe he wanted to get caught. Maybe
guess.
maybe it's an Epstein thing. He's taking
Yeah.
the fall for a bunch of people. You know.
Maybe.
You know, that wouldn't surprise me, but I think that whole thing, kind of like we talked about before, I think it would be interesting to see who falls down with him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because there was
everybody.
a lot of artists.
Everybody. If you went to one of them Diddy parties and like you saw him like putting drugs in people's drinks and you had knowledge of it, you're automatically guilty.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, there's still like an unidentified woman, right?
Yeah,
Isn't Beyonce one of the like candidates for that?
allegedly.
Which is funny because right before we started, I was just singing her praises and also shitting on her win in the Grammys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hold on. So let's get into that a little bit.
Oh yeah.
How what was it? Grammys, Oscars, whatever.
Grammys.
Oh, I think it's all a
Gram-
crock of shit.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But how are we giving Beyonce country music?
Because
album
it's a
of the year?
popularity contest.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I'm shocked that Taylor Swift didn't win anything.
Yeah.
I'm happy, but
Yeah.
I'm shocked. You know.
I don't disagree with that.
Of
now
course-
I'm thinking about it, right? There's a conspiracy theory.
Oh
that
yeah.
If Beyonce doesn't win a Grammy, then somebody dies.
The person, yeah.
Oh, I haven't heard
seen
about
that.
this.
I've
Yeah,
heard
like,
about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Who died in
somebody, like-
2017 when she didn't win for Lemonade?
Who was it? I don't know.
I don't know.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Where's
was
Emily at?
later, right?
Right.
Is that 2018?
Oh boy.
Oh, here comes a
Oh,
dog.
hey, there's a dog. It's like a Looney Tunes bit.
Come here. Grab her over here.
I'm trying to, but she's running behind the couch.
Hallie, come here. Come on.
I was waiting for her to hit one of those cameras. And just,
Oh yeah. When I saw you follow her for a second, I thought you were gonna like try going to those cables.
No,
Yeah,
I was making sure she didn't take the cables
it
out.
would have been bad.
Holy smokes.
Where were we? Grammys.
yes, yeah. Beyonce winning the Grammys.
Yeah,
She saved a life.
If like everybody who wins a Grammy though, they thank Beyonce. Like, have you guys seen that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you don't thank her, like, you dead. That's the theory.
I believe it.
You know, well, it's so stupid. But every time I watch an awards show like that, I'm always thinking like, what would I do up there? Like, and this year I was thinking, so there's this tape cleaner that it's highly flammable, but it burns up before it can reach your skin. So I was thinking like, how awesome would it be to like just pull my shirt off if I won a Grammy and just cover myself in that shit, and then light myself on fire and like roll on the ground and
Sounds like
scream.
some Hunger Games stuff
Yeah.
coming out.
Yeah, or some Vietnam War.
Oh,
Yeah, that
Buddhist
too.
barbecue, isn't that what was her name? Neo Dendian's wife. It doesn't matter. I think she's dead now.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Rest in peace. Rest
Rest in peace, her soul.
But
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the Grammys, but I'm also thinking about the Oscars and how Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. Like,
I thought that was the Academy
was
Awards. I thought so.
I don't know what it was, but it's like
I think
really
it was at the
big.
Oscars.
Really?
I feel
Okay.
like
Yeah.
I feel like people like stop thinking about it, but like this man really slapped Chris Rock in front of so many people.
I mean, and he's seen the consequences from it. Like his
Yeah.
career is at a low. I mean,
It has, but it also put him in the news.
That is
he was
true.
in a low before.
that is
Yeah.
true.
I think he just wanted some free publicity, man.
It could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, and he slapped him for a woman that don't even fuck with him like that.
Yeah.
Like she was talking about Tupac and how she wished he was alive and shit.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, the jokes weren't even that ridiculous as I recall. Maybe they were.
It was.
Shit, I
It
don't
was
know.
about
It was about her being bald.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
the GI Jane or what's
Yeah,
that?
it was
movie?
a
G.I. Jane
Yeah,
joke.
Well, is there
That was funny.
yeah? Is there some like horrible dark secret about her being bald or something?
She
Like,
just has alopecia. So
oh well,
Yeah, she's
shit.
all right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
made fun
mean,
of.
like she would wear a wig if she was worried about it.
And
yeah.
I feel
yeah.
like if she had cancer, that's a difference.
Yeah. No.
yeah,
Yeah.
of
that would've
course.
been
Well, that's
different,
kind of
but-
what I was wondering. I don't
No,
want
she
to come
didn't
out
have
and
cancer.
say it, but
I mean, now granted, you would have people say that it's just as bad, but I mean, you also have a comedian on stage, and
right.
he's not.
He's doing his job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and it's like especially some of those older comedians as well. Like they have they have even less of a filter than some of the guys do today.
Oh yeah.
Well, Garrett, I hate to break it to you, but comedy isn't actually supposed to be funny anymore. It's supposed to be vindicating. It's supposed to make you feel seen
Yeah.
and accepted for who you are.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's kind of some of the direction the world's going. Like it or dislike it.
Right.
It's kind of just the reality of some things.
It is, yeah. I don't know.
Anyways, getting back onto the original topic, kind of about your background.
Yeah.
So kind of what got you started in the, like where'd your interest for music come from, you know?
Oh, man. Honestly, I mean, because I just started playing drums. I don't even remember why I started playing drums. I think I was just interested. I mean, I was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it all stemmed from the first time I heard Nirvana. I mean, that's really what did it. I totally fell in love with that music. I spent like 3 years almost as like a cultist over it. And then that led me to like, because I what always happens is I get really obsessed with a musician and I start reading about like who inspired them.
Yeah.
And that's what really leads me down the rabbit hole. So I got into Nirvana, and that led me to bands like the Wipers and the B-52s and the Dead Kennedys, that kind of thing. And then I got really into the Doors. And so I was listening to the Doors constantly, and I started listening to their influences, like Howlin' Wolf and Robert Johnson, and all these great like old bluesmen from the Mississippi Delta in the 30s and 40s, and that was a revolution for me. Really, that was maybe that was the first time I found music that like touched me that way emotionally, you know. And so but it's always like. I mean, it's like I've always been this way. I've always just wanted to create stuff. Like I don't do it because it's a lot more money, but I've always wanted to make movies. I've always wanted to learn how to paint. Like, because I love watching movies. I love listening to albums, and I just want to make my own stuff. You know,
I could hook you up with the movies part.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's actually involved in doing, like, what would you call it?
So I've been in a few short films, and we'll be in a movie here soon.
Shit, which movie?
You wouldn't know. It's low budget indie film.
I mean, you might be surprised. I actually do you know Jordan and Logan Bodenhammer by chance? Because I know they work on some indie stuff here in town.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh, but okay, that was something I was going to ask you. Is since you have all of these people that you followed and who they looked up to, is there a certain band that you try to mimic or that you have a lot of influence from?
I mean, there's a lot. Because for me, what happens is the only reason I make music is for myself, you know, because I hear music in my head or whatever. I dream about music a lot, and it's like there's something I hear that I love the sound of that doesn't exist. So there's a lot of Nirvana influence. There's a lot of the like kind of Delta bluesmen of the 30s and 40s. Dick Dale, the surf guitarist from the 60s who wrote Miserlou, you know. I'm trying to think. Oh, I mean, I'm a big Jimi Hendrix fan. Yeah. Every guitar player on earth is. Everyone on earth is.
Oh yeah.
He's Jimmy.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. Oh, and Al Boley, the old like ballroom singer from the 20s and 30s. He's a huge influence on me. Anything I write that doesn't involve me screaming has a significant Al Boley influence. He was incredible. He was the only British person to ever be worth a damn. He was incredible.
I don't think you say that.
Can I not say that? They're white.
Wait, what can he say?
Well, because British people will be offended.
Oh no!
It's like if I said I don't like black people.
No, that's completely different.
Yeah, I feel like that is completely
How
different.
is it?
Well, that's a far larger generalization,
Well,
isn't it?
Also, I mean, I feel like everybody hates on British people. I think it's okay in America.
Is it just universal?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
think it's okay
that's-
in America.
Why are we here? Like, why does this country exist?
Yeah. Everybody moved here, right?
Yeah, it was so shitty in Europe. I mean, you know, under the Habsburgs and everything. Yeah, we fucking came here.
Yeah.
And demand once more pretzels.
Dude, it's out of it.
Nah, just like these pretzels are good, bro.
Oh.
Free advertisement, I guess.
I can't put down the cup.
Oh boy. So where are you currently working at? I know you do some stuff on your own.
Yeah, so I work in live sound. I go to concerts and corporate events and things like that, and I mix sound. So I do a lot of work as a contractor through a company called Eardrum Entertainment, run by a guy named Steve Green, he was kind of my big mentor with that world. He's an incredible guy. But I also I do a lot of independent contracting in that world too. And lately I've gotten into building guitars, building amplifiers, guitar pedals, that kind of thing, and selling that kind of stuff, just as a little extra cash. But yeah, so most of what I do is going to shows and mixing concerts, that kind of thing. Working backline, so providing instruments for bands who are coming out of town, don't want to carry gear, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's nice. So, have you got to meet any like interesting people through those experiences?
Yeah, a couple people. I did the Elsewhere Festival. I did backline for that. What was that? June or July? Were you guys aware of that?
I heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was. It's the first time they're doing this. Or last summer was. It's kind of their trial run year. It's a big festival. They took over like all of downtown and Old Town Wichita. There were 3 stages. There's like a kind of like rap hip hop kind of stage. There's a EDM stage, like the electronic dance music, and then there's like a kind of rock indie stage. That was one I was working at. Yeah. But so I got to meet a couple cool bands. I got to meet a couple cool bands who aren't like well, some of them are getting pretty big. I got to work with a group called Blue the Tiger, or I think an individual named Blue the Tiger with a band of her own. Yeah. She's the first woman to ever have a signature bass from Fender.
Oh, really?
And so that was really cool. Her band was super cool. They played a great show. They played Madison Square Garden, I think, the night before. So it was cool. It was a little bit of a step down, I think, but I think they enjoyed themselves. Yeah. Man, let's see. I mixed Dierks Bentley.
Oh, no
once.
way.
Yeah, you like Dierks Bentley? Yeah, there was a Textron event, and I was more there for like there's an outdoor stage. You guys watch Yellowstone at all? You remember the episode where Beth breaks the bottle over that woman's head in the bar? Yeah, so I mixed the band that was playing at that bar right before Dierks Bentley. Yeah, they were talking to me about the show and everything. They're really cool guys. They're from Texas.
Yeah.
Isaac Hayes band or something like that. They were really cool. And then Dierks Bentley was like the main act that night. And then so it was a charity auction, and so they brought in a special guest for it who was Peyton Manning. So I got to meet him. I handed him a microphone, and that was cool. He was really friendly actually. Yeah. And then, God, who else? Oh, Mike Pence. This was after he was out of office. Yeah. Do you remember? God, what was his senior year? You're class of 23, right? Yeah. So our senior year was the midterm elections. That was when Derek Schmidt was running against Laura Kelly. So somehow I got roped into it was at Newport over in Bradley Fair. I got roped into a Republican fundraising event for Derek Schmidt, and so I got to meet Derek Schmidt, and he brought in Mike Pence to. So I was talking to the Secret Service, and I talked to Mike Pence a little bit, and man, if there was ever a guy who exemplified the word politician, you look into his eyes, and it's like looking at a brick wall. He was very friendly and very well spoken when he got up there. But I feel like he's one of these guys where it's like the moment he's not in front of a crowd, he shuts it off. He's done.
Yeah. So have you, any of these people that you've met over time that are, like, do you have any connection with any of them, or was there any knowledge that they gave you to take away kind of that you use or anything like that?
Not those people in particular. A lot more of the people I've made connections with are people like on the internet and that kind of thing. There are all these communities dedicated to studying and kind of dissecting the music of bands like the Beatles and Nirvana, and I try to stay kind of involved in that. And I've learned a lot of great engineering skills from those people. A guy named Aaron Rash has really kind of taught me a lot, kind of indirectly, but learned quite a bit through his stuff. But most of the knowledge I've really gotten is from reading books that are written by studio engineers and reading the biographies of musicians I love and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I gotcha. That's pretty cool though. I mean, like even just getting to meet some of those people at that
yeah.
like that level and like what they're doing, and then like also being just as involved with it as they are, just from like a behind the screen type of thing. You know, I feel like that's something that's not a lot of people get to say they do. I mean,
It's a lot of fun.
yeah. I mean, I wish I could say I handed Peyton Manning a microphone.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You good over there?
I'm great. I'm just like, this is out of my range. As a black man, this is out of my range.
What do you mean?
Like, black people don't really listen to rock. And I listen to rock, but he's deep into it.
Yeah.
He might be deep into it. I'm not that deep in it.
I like the
I'm
new.
like surface level with this. So I don't even know who the people he's talking about.
yeah,
Oh, it's okay, man.
It's older. It's older.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everything I like is
Yeah, everything
older.
I'm listening to is newer.
I
Which is
usually,
cool.
I like it's like the subgenre. It's called is it new metal?
Yeah.
Like I'm big. I like Shine
like
Down.
late '90s, right?
Well,
or I guess in early aughts, and
yeah.
Yeah.
Like Shine Down. I like them.
Limp Bizkit and like Rage Against the Machine are in that category. You listen to those guys?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. I've always loved Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
3 Days of Grace.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I dig that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was when they started recording on computers across the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had as many tracks as they wanted. It's cool.
Yep.
You can definitely hear a shift. It's interesting.
Oh yeah.
Right, you look out of it.
Bro, I'm literally just sitting here.
Do you want?
Dylan.
You got a
have
question?
nothing to
I can
contribute.
talk about Billie Eilish if you want. I like
I
her
don't really
quite a
listen
bit.
to her like that. But
Oh, no.
I do like a couple of her songs. not
Yeah,
gonna
she's
lie.
great. That last record was incredible.
It was, I have a couple songs from that. It was pretty good.
I wound up buying it
When
on
I'm in the
vinyl.
gym and it's on shuffle and I just hear Billie Eilish. I don't skip it.
Oh yeah,
I just sit there and listen to it. I'm like, yeah, it sounds good.
Lunch, the diner, like all that stuff was badass.
Oh my gosh.
You listen to Billie Eilish or what?
Not my cup of tea.
Are you saying?
No.
Oh, hold on, Garrett. Hold on. Are you telling me that you aren't a 14-year-old girl with a choker on?
Not my cup of tea. I
Holy
say
hell!
that. I don't go to the gym and put Billie Eilish on shuffle personally, but
Oh yeah.
It
you know.
doesn't get put on shuffle. It's in the playlist.
Oh, there you go.
Mixed with 100 Babytron songs. So I play like 5 Babytron songs and then it's Billie Eilish. And
Wait, so you listen to 100 minutes of the sounds of babies laughing, and then you listen to some Billie Eilish?
yeah,
That's good. That's some good stuff, man.
gets me through the gym.
Yeah,
It
I
works.
respect that.
You should
guess.
try it.
You should
Yeah.
try.
So what obviously you're about to be going to school here soon.
Yeah.
Where is it you're going to?
So because I spent about 3 semesters at Wichita State, and I'm not a college guy. I've never been a classroom guy, so I'm going to
Yeah.
Wichita Technical Institute to kind of study, kind of working in the electronics like technician field.
Yeah.
Kind of the intermediary between like an electronic or like an electrical engineer and like an actual electrician. But yeah, and that ties into a lot of the like amp and pedal and preamp stuff that I'm doing. And I'm hoping that one day I might actually be able, like after working for a few years and kind of finding a niche, I might be able to take that full time. And
Yeah.
there aren't a lot of like, electronics techs for musicians or instrument techs for musicians in Kansas.
Mhm.
Even in Wichita or Kansas City, like there aren't that many.
Yeah.
And the ones that there are, they aren't going to be around forever. I mean, they're kind of our parents, grandparents' generation. They're going to want to retire if they haven't already.
Yeah.
So
So
it'd be nice to kind of slide into that. Sorry.
So is your goal to like in the future to be an electrician, or is the music something you want to stick with, or like is that something you want long term?
It's one of those things where I fully plan on becoming an electronics technician, working in that world, but like I'm never going to stop making music. I'm never going to stop working at it because because I have no interest in making it big or whatever.
Oh,
It'd be fun to be
okay,
playing
that's what I was
festivals or whatever, but like I would never want to tour outside of the continental United States or anything like that. Like I'm not built for that kind of stuff. I just like making stuff that I believe in and love. And I mean, and this is going to sound so ridiculously vain, but I actually listen to my own music just as much as other music. And it's not because I'm like sitting there thinking, oh God, my voice is perfect on this one, but like, because
I feel like it's what you're making is like like it's something you connect with, obviously, because you're
Yeah.
making it. So
Well, and
there's no
and
reason not to listen to it.
exactly. Well, and it's. I mean, I don't create anything for a crowd or to please. Like, it really is just because there's something that I love that doesn't exist yet, and I want to experience it and listen to it. And
Yeah.
You
So
know.
it's just one of those things that you're like just truly passionate about. And,
absolutely, yeah.
and I mean, so I guess if you got to the point where you didn't have to work a typical job
Mm-hmm.
because that was providing you well enough, would you stray away from that, or would you rather avoid that type of thing?
I would never turn it down.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not a thing you can rely on, especially, I mean, everything's changing right now
Yeah.
with music, you know, and for the better in a lot of ways. Labels are getting out of the way. People are making
Yeah.
albums on their laptops. You can pull up GarageBand right now and record an album on my phone, you know, and
Or
that's
that
the,
Band Lab.
yeah, oh yeah,
we
man.
should make an album, actually.
We'll make one right now.
Yeah, bring a couple instruments over and make it. Let's make an
I
album.
don't know, we'll just use fake instruments in GarageBand.
Oh, yeah.
we could do that.
Do it in half an
You know,
hour.
I used
Release it
to
with the
I used to
podcast.
do the thing. You go to YouTube and search up tight beats.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, make a freestyle on a young boy type beat.
All right, bud.
Let's call Rose in here. He'll do it.
Wow.
My name is Deacon,
Hey,
and
he's-
I'm here
he's
to
right down
rap.
the street right now. He's
Give
just,
me a lip, I'll give you a smack.
just not getting off work.
there
He'll
you
slide
go.
to listen to some young boy.
Bring him in here, and make a tight beat.
Shout out T Rose. Listen to young boy.
The
I
thought
have
of
to piss.
women
Is that
makes
gonna
me
fuck this
sick.
up? If I
No,
piss?
you can't.
All right.
I prefer.
Sorry.
You want
We'll,
some pretzels?
Oh, you were just munching on those
Bro, I
pretzels.
love these pretzels. Bro.
hungry, bro.
You want to
They look
toss
like
me one,
little
Damon?
bagels.
You want a pretzel?
Yeah, would you throw me one?
Hey, underthrow.
You gotta catch it in your mouth.
Those are pretty good.
Wow, wow.
So
You see why I'm eating them like that?
You know,
You gotta hug them.
some garlic in there. It's good.
all right, so going back into a direction on some kind of like modern stuff going on right now.
You alright, bro?
Oh my God.
Getting all choked up over
They're
there.
gonna kill me. Oh my god.
Pretzels
It's
laced
the
up
CIA.
with,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the CIA, dude.
Uh-oh.
They heard us talking shit last
You know,
episode.
Yeah, is your last name
Yeah.
Kennedy?
You know what I
Oh,
think
God.
the CIA is actually involved in right now?
What's this?
The Popeyes and Don Julio collab.
What?
It's a
I saw that.
it's a
I-
CIA it's
A
a
plant?
CIA psyop, bro.
Psyop?
It's getting black people to act like black people.
Is this like the cheese
What?
tunnels in the 80s?
No, did you hear about that? Don Julio, like the alcohol brand, is having a collab with Popeyes.
Yes, bro.
No.
They're giving you tequila baked chicken. Or tequila fried chicken.
That sounds disgusting.
and tequila sauce.
That
And
sounds
there's one dude, he's obviously black, but it's just so ignorant to me. Like, you're living up to everything. Drunk and black,
The
and you like
stereotypes.
chicken. You're eating chicken, Don Julio chicken from Popeyes, and it's just black people all up in there. And I'm like, you guys look horrible. Like, I'm not gonna,
How do you know I don't
at
look
least
so?
DoorDash it. Don't go in the restaurant acting a fool. Like, there's people twerking on tables with a bottle of Don
Wearing
Julio
pajama
in their
pants
hand.
and house
Okay.
shoes.
Like, that's crazy.
Let's keep it 100. What do you think the ratio of race is to go into Popeyes is?
95.
Look it up.
5.
Look it up.
95. I don't even need to look it up.
I haven't been to
95.
Popeyes in years. I need to go back. Actually.
I haven't. Yeah, no, I haven't.
He's
been
more of a
to
KFC guy.
95.5, bro.
I just like to kill the chicken with my bare hands. I eat it first, and then I just end things.
All right.
You
I
know.
mean, that works. but,
I learned
you
that
know,
from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only like G-rated movie that actually kills an animal on camera.
When
Really?
did that happen?
Yeah, you know when they're going through the tunnel, in the boat. This is the original one,
yeah.
not the remake. They're going through that tunnel. It's like a 60s psychedelic freakout. There are all these images that pop up, and one of them is a chicken being beheaded, and
Oh
they
my
shot
God.
that specifically for the movie.
What the heck? So they just straight up killed a chicken for the movie?
It's crazy.
That's the only
What?
G-rated movie where that happens.
That's insane.
There are a lot of movies where animals die on camera, but that's the only like G-rated one.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Dang.
Guess times are different.
Yeah. Well, that is true. Like, I feel like a lot of the PG-13 movies, like back then, are like rated R movies now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Or
well,
even
I
a
mean,
PG.
well, yeah. I mean, you didn't have PG-13 until like what 89 or
Yeah,
whatever.
I was gonna
So
say that it was just PG.
yeah, I mean, Beetlejuice is PG, and
Yeah.
and that's what that's the one where Beetlejuice himself says, "Nice fucking model,"
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's constantly making sexual
Yeah.
advances towards the wife. Like
yes, yeah.
Gremlins would be PG-13 now.
Oh,
you know. All the carnage and yeah.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of movies that you wouldn't expect where animals get killed on camera.
Wow. I did
Apocalypse
not know
Now. There's a scene where they're killing a cow in a ritual sacrifice, and they actually do it.
Yeah.
Like hack it up while it's standing there. It's bad.
What the heck?
Damn.
That's crazy.
Times have changed.
But of course, I mean, there's only one movie that killed animals in a sex scene.
What is that?
Pink Flamingos.
I don't know what that
It's a
is.
beautiful movie. Beautiful movie about knowing your place in the world and loving yourself and your family for who you all are. And it's the only movie where two chickens are crushed to death in a sex scene.
What the heck?
All right. Fun fact of the video.
Yeah, it's a great
Yeah.
movie actually. It's very well made.
That's crazy.
But yeah,
how could the movie stand for all of that and then have that scene in there?
well, it's part of it.
That's crazy. Well, hey, sounds interesting, man. You know,
I have no idea what you just said.
I don't know what I said either, bro.
It's like
I'm
like-
just like stunned by what he said.
That's that
I
modern
can't
day
even-
mumble rap,
I
I
can't-
guess.
I can't even put subtitles on that. I have no idea. What
well,
you
it's
said.
like
I don't know what I
a
said either. You're just gonna put, you
Just
know,
put gibberish.
yeah.
What I was trying to get on earlier, though, before we got
with the
sidetracked.
chicken 95.5.
You really have to get all those feathers. If you leave a single one, it's gonna just screw up all the meat.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't even talking about the 95.5, but we can get back into that. You really think 95%? Actually, let me clarify. You think 95 is what? 95% of the Popeyes.
Like 95 out
Look
of
up the
100
statistics.
Popeyes
You guys-
customers.
95% of people who go to Popeyes are black.
I just don't think.
I don't believe that.
All right.
Do you think there's
I'll-
actually a
I'll
statistic
be
for
more
that though?
realistic.
I
80,
don't think-
80-20.
80-20.
Usually
Okay.
we'd have
What do
somebody
you think the
here
20 is
looking
broken
them
up
but
into?
it could make
Everything else.
Everything else.
10% white, 5%.
What about the Hispanics?
Yeah, 5% Hispanic, and another 5% is every other race.
So wouldn't that
Which
be
is-
90-10?
No, because it'd be 80-20, 10% white, 5%.
Oh, I
Mexican,
see. I didn't get the 5% or
Hispanic,
the 10%
and then
white.
5% everything else.
Sorry, I was still thinking about the chickens and pink flamingos.
Well, it could be 70-30.
I'm trying to find something here.
Campbell Holocaust is another one where they kill animals on screen, and it's hard to watch.
That's
Okay.
crazy.
We should put them on and then just react to them.
Oh, what, Campbell Holocaust?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of information on the statistic of their customers. I don't-
Go to ChatGPT.
I
and
did.
Yeah, they keep that shit locked up tight so that they
Yeah.
don't have any lawsuits or boycottings.
Well, I'll tell you this: every time I've been to Popeyes, which isn't frequent, but last year I probably went a handful of times.
Okay.
It's full of black people, including the people working there.
Okay, so
You saw an
worked there,
Indian
didn't
guy
you?
there.
I used to work KFC when I was like 15,
okay, so
16.
if it's all black people going there, then what's the other chicken place?
KFC?
Churches.
Oh, Churches?
Chicken. Is that
White
white people?
go there, yeah.
That's white people.
Well,
I know a lot of white people that go there.
Okay.
Yeah.
My coworker, when I was a mailman, used to go there every day for lunch.
Now you're a
Really?
female
And he was
man?
white. What?
Are you a female man now?
No,
Or-
is he close enough to the mic?
Me?
It should be.
no,
Yeah.
I'm close enough. It's in.
Oh,
alright.
Damon.
Yeah, am I
Put it
close
right
enough
here.
now?
Just make sure you're.
Think
talking
of, but think of like the location of where these put these where
That's
they
a fair
put
point.
These places in though too. Like
Well, but then you have to wonder, like, are these locations like chosen specifically based on demographics? Like, do they go door to door, or do they find like county like population records, or is it just like
Okay, but there's a Popeyes on Rock Road, and
That's
Rock,
true.
Rock
Yeah.
Road has a lot of predominantly white places that white people go to.
that's
well,
very true?
I mean, there's also the
And there's
Walmart.
still only black people in there.
That Rock Road, that location though, is surrounded by such diverse areas.
Yes,
because you got
yeah.
like the WSU area right there, then you got Bel Air, Park City.
Yeah, because
That's a fair point,
Because
yeah.
the Walmart that's right there is a little sketchy sometimes too.
Yeah. I've heard some interesting stories about that
Yeah,
Walmart,
yeah.
but yeah, no.
where I
So
lost
I don't
my
know. That is
virginity.
a good point. I wonder if they take the demographic into where they put some of those types of things.
Yeah, that and
That's some really smart business making.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
like
If they
putting
put it in a-
the cheaper fast food places in lower income areas.
No, yeah. That's
Yeah.
also where they put a lot of liquor stores.
Yes, yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah. So we might want to cut this out, but I just want to talk about it.
Yeah.
We can discuss it
Okay.
though. So I read one point, and you probably know a little bit more about this than I do, but whenever, and this is like we probably should cut this out.
Okay.
Whenever Planned Parenthood went up and all that, they were putting it in predominantly black areas.
Oh, well, the woman who started Planned Parenthood was like a eugenics monster, right? Like she wanted to breed out black people and people. I guess, yeah, now we have to cut it out. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Planned
Well, if
Parenthood was
it's-
started
if
by a
it's-
woman who wanted to.
So I can say now,
No,
right?
no. But
Nick,
if these
Nick-
are facts,
Nick
there's no reason why
Nick-
we can't leave it in.
well, except for the fact that I just said.
and Nick
We'll just beep
Okay.
it.
and Nick.
They won't know. Chill out over there.
Okay, but and I
Technically, you're fine. If you
and
say
this
it.
was something I read about, and I don't know how. Obviously, it's not something that they teach you in school, but
Right.
kind of what I read about, and I don't know how accurate everything is, was that
Yeah.
it was a Democrat lady and Democrat side that they were basically putting these Planned Parenthood places into like lower income areas where you might have a more non-white demographic
Right.
of all those, and kind of like the thought process, like if you look at it from an outside perspective, is it to try to eliminate the black race, or
There is a
Putting them in
lot
those
of
areas or-
evidence, and I think it's generally accepted that she was a big believer in eugenics. Like she was genuinely trying to breed a white race, like a completely white race.
yeah,
I didn't even know that.
yeah.
And I
It's not one of those things they teach you at school, though.
No,
Well,
Well, I
like
think,
at school, they've always taught you like they put them in there because low income, you can't afford to have the child. So
Yeah, and you know that could be the counter argument to it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to look at it
Right.
from both sides.
yeah,
well, and that's the thing. Like, there's no one way about anything.
Yeah, no,
like
not at
it's
all.
it's everything's so nuanced.
yeah.
But I mean, there is significant evidence to suggest, or what am I saying? To suggest.
Yes.
It's been a long day. To suggest that what was her name? It's like Gloria something,
I
right?
don't know.
Let me look here.
The woman, yeah. There's a lot of evidence, I think, to suggest that she was really trying to like push eugenics in America. She's pretty sick. I mean, like
Yeah.
like in a bad way, like
No, no, I
like
know what
sick,
you mean.
twisted, evil, not
Yes,
like
evil.
it's fucking
Yes.
sick, dude.
Let's make it clear that is very evil.
No, eugenics are not sick; they're sick.
Yeah.
I'm Deacon Marlin. I approve this message.
So it looks like ChatGPT is taking that sweet time. We are not sponsored.
Of course not. You know they got a Chinese competitor now, so they're not sponsoring anyone.
I heard about that.
Wait, what?
So
It's called DeepSeek, and I actually use it. And
Why are you fucking
Okay.
putting your
Give 'em your
information? to that? Yeah.
yeah, no, hold on.
Well,
that
they're
thing
trying
is
to ban
so
TikTok.
unsafe to use, though. It's
They're
so
trying to ban
unsafe.
TikTok,
Why?
though.
Well, yeah, you all have
'Cause
TikTok on
for
your
stealing
phone.
for stealing our information, and then here comes a Chinese competitor giving out all the information that ChatGPT uses, and now they're trying to tell people like you that we can't use it because it's stealing our data because it's from China.
That is a fair argument.
Well, but we are also in a Cold War with China.
Yeah,
True.
but ChatGPT is doing the same thing.
Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah.
Margaret
but-
Sanger, does that sound
Yep,
right?
yep,
Okay.
yep.
There we are.
She's yeah.
Anyways, continue. Though,
She's
sorry.
kind of a
But I was
bitch.
just
Um,
using it for summaries, not really anything too deep. But
No,
I know some people like I've seen videos of it being tested side by side, and DeepSeek's AI technology is better, and it's open source. And ChatGPT was trying to like gatekeep all that.
Yes.
Right.
So they lost a lot of money in the stock market. I don't know if you guys heard about that,
Mm-hmm.
but like Nvidia, that what do? They
make the
Yeah,
chips.
yeah.
Yeah, they make the little chips
Yeah.
that ChatGPT runs with,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And DeepSeek came out, and they don't use anything, and it's like open source, so
Oh,
any
okay.
AI developer can come in, take that open
Yeah.
source, and make their own DeepSeek.
Yeah,
And that's
That's why
great.
It's
I mean-
like trouble for, you know, the U.S.
Because it's completely free, correct?
Yeah, it's free. You don't got to
And-
pay for the
Yeah.
higher model.
And that's
it's
where some of
better.
it comes into fear for maybe some of the modern AI. I mean, granted, AI is all modern, but some of the other ones, because you have paid subscriptions to
Yeah.
all the AIs, and
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
whenever you-
why it's so bad.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Like you got a direct competitor who's giving out something better and free,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
open source. So
but okay. Now, with that though, with them charging for free, you're not just putting that out there for the kindness of your heart, though. Like they're got to be gaining something out of that. And
Well, but there is also the old adage that programmers aren't in it for the money. Like
that is true.
programmers never make any money. They all
True.
most
Yeah.
of them put that shit up for free.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, because technology is never going to move backwards, you know,
No,
unless
yeah.
it really moves backwards.
well,
with like
even
an
if
asteroid
they
collision.
did
Yes.
release it just to gain something, they wouldn't just give you all the tools to recreate it for
That is true.
to gain something. They put it out there just to knock the U.S.
Well-
down. Because
well,
the
but-
U.S. were charging for that information.
But it is interesting. So I read this story a while back. There was a point in time where this is long, but I swear I'm getting to a point here. Iran was making they were really working with nuclear reactors and whatnot, and we weren't at war with Iran at the time, or Iran, or however you want to say it. But we didn't want them to have nukes. So we sent guys with flash drives that had the most sophisticated malware in like technology history. Have you heard about this?
I think it has.
Yeah, and they just set them around the facility. And eventually one guy picked one up and plugged it in.
Oh, yeah, I heard
and
about- I heard
it was
about this.
so incredible and hard to detect that it went. This went on for years. It would like it didn't like shut things down. It just made the I think it was the turbines or something like that in the main like reactor facility
Yeah.
go so fast that it destroyed itself.
Yeah.
And this went on for like 7 or 8 years from what I remember, without anyone figuring it out. You
Yeah.
know, so my concern with something like that would be like, what if there is some kind of really deep hidden malware
Yeah.
that would be hard for the average hobbyist or programmer to track down?
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's not necessarily getting reported on to the full extent, but we're in a Cold War with China right now. Like we don't really have any other threats to this country. Like we talk about Russia and North Korea and we still talk about Iran and we talk about all these different countries, you know, but really no one is a bigger threat to us than China right now. And so I have complicated
Russia's kind
feelings.
of busy with their own thing right
Yeah,
now.
they started something they couldn't finish,
Yes,
and they're
yeah.
trying to catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have complicated feelings. I'm all for open source technology. I think that's great. That's why I play Java Minecraft. But I do worry about something like that. You know, that's why I just stay away from that shit. Like I'm not like I don't like live under a rock. But I've still never had TikTok on my phone. I've never used it in my life. Like I barely use Instagram. I just use it to promote shit.
Mhm.
You know, watch YouTube. But and that's I mean. Granted, I'm a little neurotic about like my privacy, so that doesn't help anything. But
Well, nowadays you don't have much privacy.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, you do what you
You
can.
guys see that like somebody had exposed that Meta was like using all of your data from every single app on your
Yeah.
phone.
Mhm.
Like they're just tracking it on Facebook just because. And it's like you worry about China taking our data and information, like
Zuckerberg's
trying to
doing it
ban
too.
TikTok, but you know the U.S. has already been doing that.
And-
But, I mean, I guess it matters is who has it, but.
Mhm.
Right.
Then again, what are you going to do if I have like Pornhub on my phone? Like, what does China want to do with that?
Yeah.
Well, I think
you have to
that's
have a
a big
VPN to
thing.
do that in Wichita now.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, you not watch Pornhub? Yeah,
I
you-
went to Carroll. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, you know they like there's like a shadow ban on porn on a lot of porn websites, mainly Pornhub in
I did
Kansas.
hear about that.
You have to submit your driver's license.
Wow.
So I use a VPN. I go to New York and I spank it, and then I come back.
I know. I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast. And I heard they did that like in Texas. And
Yeah,
stuff.
well, because I tried Texas
Well, that's
first.
crazy they do
for the
that after so
VPN.
long, after
Well-
like an entire generation grows up just spanking it.
Oh yeah,
Just
spanking it until we're raw, like because we had
Yeah, I feel
unlimited
like nobody
access.
talked about it, but like it was so big, especially like when I was in middle school. Like I was spanking it.
Oh yeah, man.
like I shouldn't have been exposed to such things, but
I think
Yeah.
that's why they started banning stuff.
yeah, it's good that they did it. But
Yeah.
you know,
So-
it's a little late.
It was a little late.
Yeah.
I mean, you got more generations to come though too.
Well,
And so,
yeah.
So let's kind of talk a little bit on that. With them banning it, like I'm speaking for myself, I feel like that's a good thing
Yeah.
for our society. I don't know how you guys feel on it, but
Yeah.
I feel like that obviously like younger generations are going to find out about things
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
whatnot and whatnot.
Yeah.
Or at what time and whatnot.
Especially if they go on Twitter.
yeah.
Oh, Twitter's
like-
horrible.
Twitter,
Like, dude, like,
It's a cesspool.
it's worse than Pornhub.
Yeah,
That's
no,
fine.
you'll be scrolling
my
you'll be
feed
scrolling
is,
through there, and then of course there's just somebody's OnlyFans right there.
dude, it's like my feed is all sports related.
Yes, yeah,
And then it's like in the comments, you just have all these bots.
Yes,
as well, which
yes.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Oh yeah.
You
Yes.
know, bots just flooding the, you know,
The Instagram
flooding
request,
social
DM
media
requests.
everywhere.
Yeah.
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 And
Funny how they don't target girls as much as they do us guys.
yeah,
When I was with my long-term girlfriend for a long time, like she never got any of that shit.
yeah.
Mhm.
Never once. And I every day I have to clear out like 6 or 7 of those fucking
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And I like, you know, it's not like I'm on Instagram searching, you know, naked girls,
yeah, yeah,
boobies IRL,
Yeah.
like, you know, I
yeah.
Yeah.
look
But-
at guitars. That's all I need.
Kind of like I feel like it can really expose the mind at a younger age, and I don't know the statistics behind any of it, but I feel like obviously if you're exposed to some of those things as a younger age and whatnot, you know, it can lead you to doing some of those things
Yes.
at a younger age, which then can also lead to early age pregnancies
Yeah.
and different things like that. So in my personal opinion, I think it's great that they're removing that for the sake of like children to come up. And
Mhm.
granted, there's going to be ways around it. There's ways
Yeah.
around everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, and that's where my, like, I guess not problem, but my, I don't know, my hesitance with that lies. Because it's like, kids are going to find a way around it no matter what. I think it's
Yeah.
the parents' responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
personally.
Yeah,
I think if you
sure.
rate, I mean, and our parents didn't know what to do. I always use this analogy when I'm talking about porn.
We talk about this a lot. Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good conversation.
Yeah.
1901 or no 1896, right? That's when Ford launched the Model T.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how many kids do you think had parents telling them to look both ways before they cross the street?
Yeah.
What's going to happen? You're going to get run over by a guy walking down the road. You know, even a horse, you know, a horse-drawn buggy a horse is going to react a lot quicker than an
Yes.
asshole in a car
Yeah.
is.
yeah.
You know, how many kids do you think got hit and
Yeah,
died, and how
definitely.
many do you think survived and then taught their kids to look both ways?
Yeah.
So,
Now-
like, that's our generation. We're the kids who got hit by porn addiction
Yeah.
because we had unlimited access to any perversion of the human body we wanted.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's going to be our responsibility to raise our kids to not, you know, to like accept that it's there, but like let it be. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and I feel like there's a fine line with it because the more that I feel like that I like from meeting people and hearing how they were raised and whatnot, and just like seeing different ways people were raised, I feel like whenever you're told, don't do this, like don't do drugs, don't
Yeah.
drink alcohol, and it's like shoved down your throat, there's
Now
gonna be a
you
point
want
where it's like,
to-
why are you telling me not
Yeah.
to?
Right.
Am I missing out on something? Like you know, that type of thing.
I
Where
think
it's like,
Well,
because going to a Catholic school, like that's constantly what you hear all the time.
Mhm.
And a lot of times when those kids at Catholic schools get to college, those are the craziest ones in college.
Oh yeah.
Yes, because you're constantly being restricted and told these things are bad. These things are bad for you, and then
it's like you're put in a little tiny box.
yes,
And then as soon as you turn 18, 19 years old,
Yeah,
it's
you
like
get
It's
that
gone.
freedom and
that
you want
box
to do
is
whatever
gone.
you want. Yeah.
And then you start making really poor decisions.
Yes.
Because it's
Yeah.
like if you didn't already make some of those
Yeah.
decisions, you're in that position where now it's like, well, hell, I don't have anybody telling me don't do crack.
Yeah.
I don't have anybody
Oh,
telling
yeah.
me don't go do
Yeah.
A, B, and C.
I'm
know?
by
It's like-
myself at KU in a dorm room, you know, and the other 3 guys in my room are, you know, fucking doing cocaine and watching gay porn. Like shit, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
see what that's all about because Father
Yeah.
Andrew always told me not to check that
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And I feel like there's 2 sides of it. You have the push too far no, Then you have the not care at all.
Yeah.
To where then you get some of those kids in college as well, where it's like they've been doing it since.
Yeah.
I mean, man,
No one stopped them.
Man, I remember in middle school, like hearing about, like whenever I was in Wichita School, I remember hearing about kids on the baseball team that got caught vaping at like in like 8th grade.
And I think it's gotten worse. Like 8th graders nowadays, like it's almost normal.
Yeah,
it's
no,
like
seriously.
yeah.
And so I feel like a lot of it comes down to not wanting to fit into the crowd necessarily, like being happy being your own person. You don't
Yeah.
gotta do that to fit in, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But then on top of that, obviously parenting comes into it. But I think that I really do believe there's a fine line between not pushing too hard, but pushing hard enough. You know.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
But it's hard because
It's
you don't
hard
want
to
to be
find
too
that.
much, but you don't want to be
Oh, yeah.
too
Exactly.
little.
Especially, I feel like with the first child.
Yeah.
For real, because
Oh, yeah.
you're really starting to find those. I mean, you're learning to be a parent.
Yeah.
You're learning
Yeah.
to do things the right way, and
Yeah.
you're always gonna have mistakes with everything.
Yeah, and I feel like
in
it's a little different, like if you're kind of strict too, because like strict parents really just create sneaky kids.
Yes.
who,
Yeah,
Yes.
no,
who
100%.
get
Oh, yeah.
around like everything, and they make their parents think that they have everything under control when
Yeah.
they don't. So I think I don't know. You gotta give them a little freedom, but not too much to where
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
like doing crack in the.
Let them have a little bit of line and
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
leash. Yeah.
Give them a gummy, just don't give them a joint.
I guess that works.
I mean, you,
I don't condone
Yeah,
it.
you
but-
want to see what this is like? Here's a 500 milligram.
Yeah.
You take this and you're gonna be off.
Yeah,
your
you just do it
rocker.
and scare the shit out of them to where they don't want to do it again.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
I
lace it
guess.
with acid and
Yeah, that's
jump around him going nightmare, nightmare, nightmare.
parenting 101.
There's a
right
spider
there.
on you. There's a spider. on you.
No, but
Who's that behind you?
I really do feel like, I mean, parenting, like looking at it from an outside perspective, looking at how I was raised, looking at how other people were raised, I think it's definitely hard, especially for that first child, to find that happy medium.
Yeah.
Going on.
Yeah.
Not pushing too hard, but also not pushing
Yeah.
enough. You know.
Yeah.
Kind of back on the topic we were talking about earlier about like kind
Don
of like
Julio
the porn,
Popeyes. No.
porn being banned and whatnot. I didn't know about this, but I believe it was Terry Crews. Like I saw a video actually recently about it. I'm assuming it was an older clip, but he had like a porn addiction to where he went to rehab over it,
Holy shit.
Well-
and like lost his wife over it and all this stuff.
Well, you
And
got to
it's like,
think. It's like, isn't the same chemical when you do drugs? It gets released.
Dopamine, serotonin.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an addiction. I mean,
yeah,
You can get addicted to anything. I mean, the
that-
only difference is
gambling. I mean, all of that. Stuff.
with the only difference. I mean, like porn is besides like what it might do to your lungs or actually like the chemical effects on your brain, like
Yeah.
really has a lot of similarities to weed. Like it lights up dopamine and serotonin receptors and lights up those parts of the brain without having a chemical dependency or like a physical addiction. It creates that psychological like attachment and
Yes.
addiction, but.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it's like it's not like you're gonna stop jerking off and you're gonna get fucking withdrawals. You're gonna be in the corner vomiting, But
Yeah.
like, but it has a serious psychological impact. I mean, I could see that happening. People get addicted to all kinds of stuff you wouldn't believe.
that's true.
Yeah, facts, and it makes you like I read about this online, and I kind of just started reading about it more. But like, it affects how you see women. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
in general.
As objects
yeah.
instead
Like,
of.
as soon as you look at a woman, the first thing that comes to your mind is like
Boobies, legs,
porn,
butt. Yeah.
porn,
Well,
that body.
Perfect image you have in your head.
Well, I remember learning about like the same part of your brain that goes off when you look at like an object or something. People that are addicted to porn, that same part of their brain goes off when they look at a
Right.
naked woman or something.
Yeah, like you can't even really like it. And it's gotten so bad for some people that they can't even have a like a normal conversation without being so like freaked out,
Yeah.
or they're
Yeah.
tweaking. And I've like met a couple guys that just like already give off that they can't talk to a girl because all they think about is sex,
Yeah.
bodies, and that's why they can't get with nobody, because a woman can tell
Yes.
when you see them and you look at them how you're looking at them.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
looking at them for them or just for their bodies, or like
Yeah.
what you're thinking about doing to them.
Yeah,
know?
yeah. If you
they can like just look at you and how you're looking at them. They can immediately know,
Yeah.
because it's so normalized, and a lot of people do it, so
yeah.
they automatically know. Like they're just like, you're weird.
Well, unlimited access to anything creates those kinds of social problems,
Yeah.
you know. That's why, and I mean, it's too late to do anything about it, and I don't know if it would be anyone's like right to do it anyways, but that's why, like, I mean, you know, we're the kids who got hit by the internet cars, like, and our you know, our kids are going to have something too. Like every generation has something, you know. It's just, I mean, speaking as someone who hasn't been a parent, like I from what I can tell, like it's just all about, like, you know, push and pull, like treading that line and walking that balance and making sure that your kids don't grow up to look at a woman and immediately start thinking busty redhead stepsis, you know, like, you know, like you have to like you can't demonize it, you can't make it okay, like you just have to, there's always a line.
Yeah, think about that stepsis shit. What is up with that?
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh well, fuck. You want to talk about fucked up? Like, what about like the stepmom shit, or like,
yeah,
you
like
know,
what is up with that? Like that's really like some weird niche that these like.
I think
these companies like put these videos out.
Well,
stepmom, stepbrother.
there's more
stepdad.
of
It's
that
just
stuff
weird.
than just regular, like, you know, dude bangs chick type stuff.
Well, I think I was watching this video about somebody, or this guy explaining it, and pretty much it's like you get to a point where you do it so much that you need the next thing that's going to give you a higher release of the dope, whatever.
Yeah.
So
That's
you got to,
exactly
because
how
it wears
drugs
off.
work.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly
Yes.
how drugs work. Like as
You
soon
need
as start
more,
taking
you need
something,
more.
You need more and more and
Yes.
more.
Well,
so
because
get that
you need
feeling.
crazier scenarios.
Well, because
Yeah.
here's what happens: you do the same thing over and over again, and the like dopamine receptors and emitters in your brain, like they just can't keep up.
Yes.
Like you can only do the same thing for so long. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, if you're working out, you can only bench 85, you know, like so many times when you're first starting off before your arms just fail. You know,
Yeah.
you can only do so many squats before you like can't walk the next day.
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing with your brain. Your brain is a muscle.
Yep.
You know, it functions almost the same way as a muscle. It just stores electricity in a way that your arms and legs don't. But so yeah, I mean, you're literally wearing out like parts of your brain, and so you have to like up it and you know, introduce new stimulants.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you know, new stimuli. It's just, I mean, it's terrible to watch, because then people hit like rock bottom with anything, and then they're, you know, shooting up, you know, this much like complete black tar heroin,
Yeah.
because that's the only thing that'll make them feel anything
Yeah.
anymore, you know.
Yeah.
And they're chasing it with, you know, an entire bottle of you know, Smirnoff Ice or whatever, like trying to feel anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's addiction. I mean, it happens with caffeine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
just what
that's-
I was about to get
That's
into.
the
Yeah,
biggest. That's
Yeah.
the biggest drug that we
Oh,
have.
Yeah,
Caffeine.
in high
Everybody
school,
uses it.
I told someone that they told me they're addicted to caffeine, and I was like, So I was like, I'll get a Red Bull addiction, and I'll hop off of it just to show you that you can do it. And I did it, but I literally slept for 2 days because the withdrawal effects were
Yeah.
so crazy, and it's like, I think it was just caffeine, but it makes you think like these people, these addicts go through this, and that's why they need it so much, because their body begins to depend on the shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
'Cause that's why they can't get off it. And it makes you think of this one guy on TikTok. He talks about how he took fentanyl and all this stuff, and he like educates you about not doing drugs, but he also tells you he did all these drugs and the crazy things he did. Like he would sell everything in his house just to get a little bit of weed or get a little bit of fentanyl, a little bit of pills, a little bit of anything. And there's people and groups that would rob, steal, and get money together just so they can shoot up together. Like,
Yeah.
And it gets so intense like that. It makes you think like these people are actually struggling out here for real.
Yeah.
But it can get that bad with porn, with anything actually.
Yeah. Gambling.
Gambling.
Happens
Yeah.
with gambling all the time.
that's a big
Yeah.
one.
Losing your house, your car.
Charlie Sheen, like, look at his entire
Yes.
adult life.
Yeah.
Like, gambling and strippers who were his
Yeah.
two addictions. Maybe
Yeah, man,
cocaine.
play-
Well, with gambling, it's
It was
that
like $20 though.
Not
it's that adrenaline rush you get.
Right. That's what you're really addicted to is
Yeah.
adrenaline.
The adrenaline. Yeah.
In Oklahoma, when we were there in Oklahoma,
right.
Yeah.
In Oklahoma.
When I was in Europe, where I can have a beer anytime I want, and my parents won't stop me because it would be against the law for them to stand my way.
I've always wondered that.
we do need to go to Oklahoma though. Like, you know, have a little fun out there.
I'm not doing nothing other than penny slots.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
I've never
I know
been to a
you're
casino.
gonna go up there and get this this ego, I already see it. You hopping on the table with $200.
Yeah.
Gone.
I
Gone.
can see it.
No,
Gone.
I'd start with like 20 if I can.
I've never been to a casino. I don't.
I've worked in them, but I've never like been in the like casino part.
Yeah, neither have I. So, I think kind of on the gambling note, it's crazy to see people at such young ages that get onto something like that. Like, I got a buddy of mine that I'm over at his house. We're hanging out one night, just hanging out while he was in town, and he is. I show up and there's him and 3 other guys playing poker.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "You want to hop in?" I'm like, "I'm good. I got no money right now." And I was like, "How much is on the table?" Because I'm like looking and I see a stack, and between the 4 of them, there's like $600 on the table. And these are kids our age. 2 of them were our age, 2 of them were a year older. So 20-year-olds and 21-year-olds.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, the thought of even and I mean, I think about money. I feel like a lot different than a lot of people. Like I'm pretty cheap with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, just like the thought of like, and that's what scares me about gambling, especially in large quantities and whatnot. Like if I go to the casino, we'll say in Oklahoma, and I lose $40, right?
Yeah.
Next 4 times that I'm thinking about eating out at McDonald's, getting myself a meal, not happening.
Yeah.
I got to make up for that, and that's just kind of how my brain works with money.
Yeah.
But it's like just seeing people at our age already gambling so hard like that, and then like the 3 of the guys that were there, that's just like a regular weekend thing for them. One of them, they play twice a week, and it's not in as large of quantities like that, but it's still $25, $50 buy-ins.
Well, they
where
still
it's
have to
like,
feed the addiction.
yeah, no, for sure.
Well, I think the biggest thing nowadays is sports betting.
yeah,
that's
no,
the
seriously.
worst thing to ever happen
Seriously.
to gambling,
Oh, yeah.
bro. Because you get these 4 or 5 leg parlays, and they only cost $5 to enter in. But you're doing it like every single week.
day.
Yeah.
That's
Or
$5 every single
couple
day.
days. You're trying to hit this parlay, which never hits, by the
Yeah.
way. Don't try it. And
It's on, like,
it's like
FanDuel and
$5
stuff,
to
right?
win like
Yeah.
$80 or something. And the idea is that you only risk 5 to win 80, but you're risking 5 every 2 days,
And
and it's
it's-
never hit.
Like-
so it's like worst thing to ever happen, low key.
And so,
Yeah.
talking from personal experience, I have done a little bit of sports betting, right?
Yeah.
They did the match your deposit, put $20 down, got
Yeah.
40, right?
Yeah.
Lost it all day one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then, actually, I take that back. I had like $3 left over.
Mm-hmm.
I got my $3, was just doing $1 bets. Long story short, made my money back, right?
Yeah.
And that, I was like, oh, shoot. Like, I just made all this money back.
yeah.
What else can I do, right?
Yes.
Now,
It hooks you.
it hooks you, right?
Yeah.
But I had to hit that point where it's like, if I'm going to play with my money, I much rather take that money that I would use on sports betting or whatever, right? And put it into something like stocks,
Investments.
where there's a lot more serious room of growth
Yeah.
for that, rather than taking a shot in the dark at whatever percentage chance of your
Yes.
parlay hitting,
Yeah.
than really worrying about.
Well, that brings me to another thing is
It's a great time for stocks right now too.
Oh, yeah.
But-
yeah. That brings me to another thing is instant gratification. I think kids nowadays they want that thing immediately. Like, how many times do you see TikTok of like get rich quick strategies or
Well, how often do you see TikToks? Period. Like,
Yeah,
that's
okay, yeah,
immediate
you're right.
gratification.
Yes.
That is true.
instead
yeah.
of like a and-
What's the
yeah.
average length of a video on TikTok? 12 seconds
Yeah.
at most.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
That's fast. I mean,
Yeah.
when we were growing up, we were watching like fucking gameplay videos
yeah.
or whatever. They released 20 minutes
yeah.
long.
But
You know?
I did see an hour-long video on TikTok of just straight LeBron highlights.
Sorry, bro.
it was really great to watch that entire hour. I love LeBron James.
But you'd watch it in vertical?
Yeah, just
That's terrible,
like
man.
that, bro. I don't even watch basketball. But LeBron James is the greatest thing
Well,
that
he's
ever
a
happened.
tall
You doing
dude,
tricks
right?
on it.
Like he's a
Greatest thing
tall
that ever
guy.
happened.
Wouldn't he just take up the whole frame? It would just be like tracking his body,
I
right?
was like zoomed out.
Oh, okay.
So you're
No.
saying LeBron James not the greatest human to ever exist?
No, he's not the greatest basketball player.
Greatest
dude.
human?
That's cap.
There's a guy 2,000 years ago that I think rivals him. They nailed him to a tree over some
Yeah.
shit. Like,
Yeah, greatest,
know?
greatest human being. I think you're a little bit off.
how about that guy who
No.
parted the Red Sea? Like, or actually, this is something I really want to talk about. Xenu. Okay, can we talk about Scientology for a minute?
Yeah, no,
Tom Cruise and Scientology.
Yeah, the great
that-
L. Ron Hubbard once said.
I'm not even gonna get into the GOAT conversation for basketball
Yeah, because
today.
you're wrong as hell.
No, okay,
No,
that's
no.
a conversation for another day,
Yes, yeah.
and we will have that conversation. I promise you that.
He's 40.
We will have that conversation. another
He's
day.
40.
I'm not doing it today.
Get someone on who
40.
actually knows about that shit for that conversation.
Yeah.
He's 40, bro.
We got some hoopers that can get on here. Don't even worry.
Let's bring him on here. He's 40 years old. He's still.
We will have that conversation when we get Xavier Bell on here or somebody
Yeah.
like that.
Who else you know doing this at 40 though?
I'm not talking about that.
Nobody. He's
Not
the
doing
GOAT.
this. Right.
Yeah, I'm not a sports guy.
He's been playing for 22. No, yes, you're 22.
Well, just think, he was playing before his son was even
2009.
alive.
22.
His son is our age.
when did he
so-
get drafted?
2009. Is that what you're saying?
Was it 09 he got drafted?
I mean, that'd be like 16 years.
He went from high school.
Yeah.
Oh. So if he's 40,
All
then-
time leading scorer, all time leading in assist, all time everything.
So yeah, like
Best stats in the world.
you say best ass in the world.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
LeBron got
Fuck,
cheeks.
what were we talking about?
We're
This-
trying not to talk about.
Oh, the TikTok.
basketball. Oh, yeah, instant gratification.
Yeah, instant gratification.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar rapped about this in his new album
Really?
that you didn't listen to.
I didn't listen to.
Which?
Somebody didn't listen
What did he
to it.
say?
I actually
I
haven't
got the
listened
shirt
to
on
it.
right now, bro. I don't know what you're talking
Somebody
about.
didn't listen to it, but it was really good. But he talked about how everybody puts something out in the world and expects it to come right back.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of why like a lot of people are the way they are now.
Which
Yeah.
I think that is something huge, especially like with this whole podcast thing and whatnot.
Mhm.
It's like things are going to take time.
We're not going to get a
happen,
million
you know?
subscribers right off the
Right.
bat.
You know, it's like, yeah, we're in debt a little bit right now, right?
A little bit.
Now,
Yeah, just a little $500 out of my pocket.
Wait, what?
what
I had
were
to-
you buying?
I literally had to talk to a financial guy.
Yeah, that,
Yeah,
that
they
is
made
true.
me pay
That
to
is
come
true.
on here.
That's why we were late. Actually, he was talking with a financial advisor.
Yeah, he made me pay $50 just to use my phone to record. I was like, okay.
But no, like, and I feel like that's something very big to realize. I feel like not a lot of people do kind of like. I think they say they realize it, but don't always necessarily truly realize it. Is that stuff's not going to happen overnight. Like it seriously takes so much grinding to get to that point. And that comes
Yeah.
with anything, you know,
Yeah.
music, sports.
Well, we're all and we're all what 19, 20. Like,
Yeah.
like I mean, yeah, we're kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We can't buy alcohol yet. We can't own a handgun. Like,
Yeah.
or we can't buy a handgun.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
buy
It can be gifted, but
you can
Yeah.
you can now in some states that got lifted.
yeah, not in Kansas though. Not
in Kansas.
not under the
in Louisiana. Yeah, in Louisiana.
What was it you said? Your first video, pistol slanging.
Yeah, pistol slanging Hellcat driver.
Yeah,
Yeah, if
Yeah.
I go to Louisiana, I can do that.
Well, and to remark on the instant gratification, like that's not just like TikTok and stuff too. This is one of my big problems with music streaming. That's like how I get out there, right? Like that's how people listen to me. No one's going to go to the record store and buy a Deacon Marlin 45 or whatever and put it on their turntable.
Yeah.
Like they want to listen to you on Spotify, right? But here's the thing, like Spotify is like a tap, or like a faucet.
Yeah.
You turn it on and you have all of music history at your fingertips.
Yeah.
And you don't have to sit through a whole album to get to a song you like. You don't have to skip through and find it. You just look up the song you want. You make playlists full of stuff. And I don't know that that's even necessarily like bad or like, I don't think that's killing music, but that's a serious change you're seeing,
Yeah.
Like people don't listen to like albums. I mean, people do, but it's
Yeah.
not like that's not how you listen to music.
It's
anymore.
not like how it
like-
used to be where you'd have to buy a CD
Right.
and put it in and then play the entire album.
It's like you hear a song on the radio and you either go out and you buy the single or you buy the album because
Yeah.
you want to hear more. Like and then to hear that one song you like if you listen to a vinyl record or especially a cassette, like you gotta sit through everything
Yeah.
else. You can't just like even with a CD you can skip song by
That's
song.
true, yeah.
Like with cassettes, with vinyl, with acetates or wax cylinders. Like you gotta listen until you get
Yeah.
there,
Yeah. kind of a low moment of me, but like I've never even thought about the fact that like people didn't have music playlists before.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you couldn't nitpick your top 20 favorite songs from
yeah.
Closest thing was the radio.
Exactly, from
Yeah.
15
Or-
different artists to listen to whenever.
Or
you know?
my dad, this was like when my dad got this car, I was like, this is so cool. It was do you remember the cars that in the trunk you could put like 5 CDs in?
Yep.
And then you could rotate it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, my
Yeah.
car, I drive a car from '08, and that it has a 6 CD changer.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is insane for like 2008. Like that's great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Did it come like that, or dang?
yeah. No,
yeah,
they
from
come.
factory.
They would come like that. Yeah.
yeah, well, because I mean GT, they like added a couple extra features. in.
Yeah.
Oh, those cars are like compared to Mustangs now, they're still pretty stripped back.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
which is cool. I kind of prefer that. You know, I don't
Yeah.
like automatic headlights or automatic wipers or anything like that. I want
Like
to do it all myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Instant gratification.
yes, I guess yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I'm gonna work to turn on my fucking wipers. I choose the speed.
Yeah, and
Is
about,
it- so
about
it's
the
manual?
music too.
Actually, it's an automatic. But
Automatic.
I've been meaning to transmission swap it for a while, but that's a lot of work and it's costs money too. But but I fully intend to do it. I'd much rather get the studio just how I want it
Yeah.
before I do that.
Yeah.
You know?
I had watched a show and it was like it was for rappers and they like make songs and then like people like DJ Khaled and some other rappers listen to it and they're like, oh, this is trash, oh, this is good. But like to a random, like you literally have 10 seconds, the first 10 seconds of a song to grab their attention for them
Yeah.
to keep listening. Like nowadays, like you can just skip the song.
Mhm.
And it's why it's like some albums have some good songs that never get heard because the first 10 seconds kind of suck.
Yeah.
Right.
And you just skip it and you skip it, and then it's really hard for new artists because you hear the first 10 seconds of a song, it doesn't grab your attention, and you
Yeah.
skip it. And I feel like a lot of people are missing out on a lot of music because of that. But I mean,
I'm gonna
it's
be
not my
honest. That
problem.
happens to me too. Like I won't find a good song, or I'll pass up a good song and then catch it later by accidentally playing it, like
Yeah.
not skipping it, and it's just playing in the car. And I'll be like, oh dang, this
Well,
song's actually pretty good.
See, I did that up until like 9th or 10th grade, and I hated it because I felt like a bad music listener because it was my world, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
music is my world. So I started I literally taught myself how to listen to full albums, and now I can't listen to anything else. I can't bring myself to listen to playlists. I have to listen
Yeah.
to like albums start to finish. It's a weird like OCD thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's how I listen to music, and so I have no problem sitting in front of 2 speakers and a sub now in my room, like just listening to a record start
Yeah.
to finish. It's my favorite way to listen to music.
Yeah.
But that took like real like discipline, especially for a 15-year-old. I can't believe I did that.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
Couldn't stop spanking my monkey, but I could stop skipping songs. I guess. I guess you can tell which one I enjoyed more.
So, and here's kind of something similar to that. What is the idea behind? So, like for me personally, there will be albums or songs that I listen to, and the first time I listen to, I'm like, this is trash.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'll like, for example, like Kendrick Lamar is my goat. Argue with me, whatever. The Mr. Morale album, I listened to that. First time I listened to it, I was like, this is dog.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. The
This
first
is
time.
terrible. And I'm more of like a lyrical guy. Like I'm like with rap, I like lyrical rap a lot
Yeah.
more. And I was like, I refuse to let myself dislike this. I've waited however many years it was for an
Yeah.
album. And so I sat there and I just kept listening to it and kept listening to it. And then I was like, okay, this is actually kind of good.
Yeah.
Right. And over a while, what do you think it is behind that like makes somebody change their opinion? Is you think it's just like a mental thing? Like, all right, I'm forcing myself to like this thing.
Well, I
you know?
think, I mean, how often do you meet someone? It's like, oh, that's an asshole, and then 10 years later, he's your best friend.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true.
You know?
Yeah.
Well,
I
that's
mean-
the same thing happened with what album? Playboy Cardi's album.
Yeah, that was where my mind went to first.
Playboy
Yeah.
Cardi's album. People listened to it and they hated it.
Whole lot of red.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they hated it.
Stayed up
because-
till midnight on Christmas Eve to listen to that.
And I hated it
2
because-
songs. I was like, this is trash. Turning that off.
It was something new.
Yeah.
And I think when people hear a new sound, they immediately reject it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially if they wanted to hear something similar that they had released before. Like, Mr. Morale was a different sounding album compared to
Damn or Pimp a
Damn,
Butterfly.
Yeah, Pimp a Butterfly. Like, that was a different kind of album. That was a different kind of feeling it gave you when you
Yeah.
listened to it.
Which I think is valid because I think Pimp a Butterfly and Good Kid, Mad City are somewhat similar.
Yeah.
And then you got Damn, which is pretty different than those.
Yeah, it was
And then you got
different.
Mr. Morale, which is whole like same concept of like lyrical, talking on like modern day problems in
Yeah,
a
it
sense.
felt like Damn, but it wasn't super dark, but it was more personal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's how Mr. Morale felt to me. And when I listened to it the first time, like I was like, I don't want to hear this.
Mhm.
Like, I don't want to hear how you cheated on your wife. I
Right.
don't care. But then I listened to it a little more, and it's like, this sounds good, and you just like reject it for the first time because you wanted to hear Damn, you wanted to hear To Pimp a Butterfly or Good Kid, Mad City. That's what you wanted to hear, but he gave you something new.
Yeah.
And you begin
Yeah.
to appreciate it.
Well, so that's your brain. That's caveman wiring trying to protect you. Like that is that. I mean, and this is a big jump to make, but that is the exact same wiring that perpetuates like discrimination in the human brain, racism,
Yeah, I was gonna
sexism,
say, yeah.
homophobia, all
Yeah.
that. That is perpetuated by that very wiring. Like it's different. It challenges like what you're used to, right? It's not like safe because you don't know it
Yeah.
extensively. I mean, that's so like for me, it was the final Nirvana album. I listened to it in middle school, and it just did not work for me the first
Yeah.
time. I was like, it sounds like it was recorded in a refrigerator. Like it's terrible,
Yeah.
And I listened to it more and more, and like when I was able to get over the fact that it wasn't like Smells Like Teen Spirit, and it wasn't like Come As You Are, it became. I mean, it's my favorite album. You
Yeah.
know? Like you just. There's because it's your brain trying to keep you safe, like if you're used to being around other primates and then all of a sudden there's a snake or a tiger or something, like the mammal brains, especially human brains, have learned to immediately reject that
Yeah.
because it is unknown, because enough primates, Homo sapiens died, because
Yeah.
they poked the tiger sitting right in
Yeah.
front of them and got mauled to death.
Which I think that whole concept is a big part of like what you grow up to, like listening to, especially music wise.
Yeah.
Is kind of like stuff that you continue to grow with,
Yeah.
Well, it's
And-
like, remember in middle school, and I just hated all rap music.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not that way at all anymore.
Mhm.
I'm not super into like more contemporary stuff, but I'm a huge Easy fan. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I've listened to I mean the second NWA record, even though like Ice Cube was gone, like it's one of my favorite like kind of I don't know what you want to call it, hip hop or
Yeah.
gangster rap or whatever.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite records from that genre, like ever. But I was completely like turned off to that because of like it's a confirmation bias kind of thing. You want what you're used to,
Yeah.
you know. But I've found that some of the greatest loves of my life in music or in movies or whatever have come from forcing myself out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Listening to that Billie Eilish record last year, I never gave a shit about Billie Eilish before 2024, you know? And I put on Hit Me Hard and Soft, and at first I was like, it's like cheap Lana Del Rey. But then I really I just tried to like shut off my brain and just feel it.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
for me, it's interesting because I'm not a lyrics guy at all.
Mhm.
For me, it's like my own lyrics are completely meaningless, and they're usually like contradictory and just stupid,
Yeah.
stupid lines about nothing. Because it's more about like, for me, it's all about
The
like the
feeling.
syllables that further convey a feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I mean, and that's how I view a guitar solo too, or in a song. It's like it's not an opportunity to show off. It's further like providing melody, and it's an opportunity for another singer.
Yeah.
That singer is just made out of wood and metal and plastic instead of flesh and bone.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's all about emotion. It's all
Yeah.
about feeling.
I would wrap it up.
Yeah. I will say, out of this whole conversation, just before we wrap it up, I definitely got me thinking about some things I haven't thought about, like especially in the music area before, and like nature of new sometimes might seem wrong, but
Yeah.
it's really,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to listen to the Weeknd's new album, and I wasn't trying to hear it because I wanted to hear like old Weeknd stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Starboy,
Yeah.
all that, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted
It's
to
another
hear stuff
thing
like
you don't
that. And he's-
you don't want to hear something new. You want to
yeah,
hear
he's got
the
this
old
new
stuff.
stuff going, but then I was like, I'm gonna force myself to hear it.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like you immediately just want to reject anything
Yeah.
new, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yep.
just how we're wired.
You got it, me?
You got it.
All right. So yes, we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Kind of
Yeah.
getting late on time.
Yeah.
But
It was good though.
yeah, thanks for coming on with
Yeah.
us.
Oh, thanks for having
I
me,
feel like we had
guys.
some cool conversations for sure.
Yeah, no.
Took a turn at some points, but definitely
Hey, that happens. That
some real
happens.
world
Yeah.
things that we got to talk about, which is
Yeah.
always cool. And like, I feel like I definitely did learn some new stuff, even
Oh,
just
definitely.
hearing you talk about stuff. And like,
Yeah.
that's one of the things I look forward to most with this is just taking knowledge in from
Oh,
other
yeah.
people, hearing about different
Learning new
things and
stuff
whatnot.
from different perspectives.
But yeah,
Certainly,
for
yeah.
sure. So thank you, for real, for coming
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
It's cool.
glad we were able to get our first guest on.
Oh yeah, and then you want to tag all your stuff.
Yeah. So I've got some music on Spotify. Should I look at the camera? Look at you guys.
If you want, it don't matter.
Yeah.
I've got some music on Spotify under my name, Deacon Marlin. I just launched a YouTube channel where I'm kind of diving into audio engineering type stuff under the same name, Deacon Marlin. And you can find kind of the Instagram counterpart for that at Deacon Marlin Guitar. I'm playing in a band for all you Wichita viewers. Playing in a group called the Vagabonds. It's all my original music. And we're just trying to play around town as much as we can, so come see us. And I'm also playing with that group, Truant Kids. They've got 2 records out now, a self-titled record and their sophomore album, Heart, which is incredible. That was before I was in the band, and it's just beautiful. So check them out. Catch them in Lawrence if you can. Listen to their stuff. Maybe listen to my stuff. And, yeah.
And I'll
Thank
have
you,
them all
guys.
in the description. So.
Yeah,
For
sweet.
sure.
Yeah.
To make it easier access. But
Yeah.
yeah. All right, well, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks again
Yep.
for doing it. Glad we got the chance.
Yeah, thank you guys.
But yeah, all right, I guess we'll call it right there.
Yep.
Cool.
All right.